Museums don't display most of what they own. There's a reason some pieces never make the floor. Gabe took the night shift at Hawthorne Museum because it was quiet money. He'd walk galleries, jot in the log, Wing A, clear, Wing B, clear, and spend the rest of the hours reading paperbacks. The first 2 weeks were nothing but echoes and his own shoes on marble. Then they moved a crate into collection storage. A heavy plywood sarcophagus stamped with warnings and a line of catalog numbers ending in 606. No manifest on file. The registrar said it was a transfer. "Don't open it," she laughed, the way people do when they're not sure if something is a joke. At 2:13 a.m., the first night it arrived, Gabe heard someone breathing on the other side of the storage door. Not a visitor's shuffle. Breathing. He keyed in, lights popping on one by one. Dust hung in sheets. Racks of paintings stared with insomnia. The crate sat in the middle like an altar. Labels on the sides were a stack of passports. Berlin, Cairo, Providence years blacked out with marker. On the lid, an older label had bled through the paint. Observation box. He put his palm on the wood and felt a faint vibration, like a refrigerator hum under floorboards. He circled once, then went back to his stool. Because that's what you do on a night shift. You make the strange normal. But the breathing kept threading under the door and into his paperback, into his pulse. At 3:06, he stood up, told the air he was just checking it, and went back in with a pry bar. The lid was screwed, not nailed. Each screw came out clean like they'd been set yesterday. Under the lid lay a second lid, glass framed in brass and sealed with a bead of cloudy resin. On the glass, backwards, someone had written in paint pen. Look no more than 3 seconds. Gabe snorted. "Okay." He lifted his phone to film, wiped a circle of dust, and leaned over. Inside was a mirror. His face looked up at him, a little warped by the aged glass, his security cap at an angle he thought was stupid. He rolled his eyes at himself and kept looking, because 3 seconds is nothing. His reflection blinked late. The fluorescence hummed, then part of the ceiling flickered. He should have stood up. He didn't. His reflection's mouth opened on its own. The sound didn't come from the crate. It came from behind his teeth. Gabe stumbled back so fast his stool clattered. He grabbed the lid, meaning to slam it shut, but the mirror surface bulged up as if there was water pressing from below, and a print bloomed on the underside of the glass. Not his palm. Smaller. Longer fingers. Wet. He shoved the crate lid on. Screws rolled away like beads. The light in the room went into a slow stutter and wouldn't stop. His radio crackled with nothing, only a whisper of consonants tugged through a wire mesh. He logged it. He wrote, with a hand he didn't recognize as his own. 213 breathing. 0309 visual anomaly. 0311 attempted reseal. The second night, the crate was cooler to the touch. He didn't open it. He put both hands on the wood, like a priest on a confessional, and whispered, "I'm not going to look." The humming deepened. A cat's purr from a throat the size of a room. In the glass, on a nearby framing table, something moved that wasn't him. On the third night, he didn't go in. He sat with his paperback open but unread and watched the storage door. The breathing came anyhow. It stood at the other side of the door and matched his breaths for an hour until he began to unconsciously mirror it. Slower, deeper, until he was sure if he exhaled too far, he wouldn't find his way back to the inhale. On the fourth night, they found the storage door ajar and the crate neatly re-screwed. The registrar scolded him for messing with inventory and wrote him up. He tried to object, then realized he didn't remember opening it at all. 2 weeks later, a new exhibit opened, Hawthorne's Oddities, Ephemera of Seeing. Visitors filed past a glass case, murmuring, phones grazing the surface. Inside sat a squat old mirror, label card reading, Observation Box, Origin Unknown. The card included a warning for children not to press their faces to the glass. Every hour, on the hour, the guard in the gallery swears he hears breath fog the inside of the mirror, followed by the sound of a stool scraping. And somewhere in the collections log, an entry in Gabe's handwriting ends not with a signature, but a sentence fragment and a tight scribble in brass-colored ink that doesn't exist in the supply closet. 0313 looking back now. Like and follow for more files.